Welcome back to Growing Craft friends. This side Sonia here, and if you are new to my channel, please do not forget to subscribe, and let's get started with our today's video. So today is all about a welcome board or a nameplate board which you can do with your decoupage, and here is how it turned out, and I'm absolutely in love with this. Now here I have this printout which I have already taken, and I am going to cut this. Now to cut this paper I am using the same technique which I usually do with my decoupage napkins. The reason why I wanted to have this technique, as I am going to use the same technique for my napkins, and this will make it a more natural, and the blending two papers will become a little easier for me. Now this is again a trial for me. I have never ever done this. So I just thought let me give it a try, and you will see how this has turned out at the end. I know you have already seen the pictures, but while making the process, while doing this nameplate, there were so many twists and turns, and I'm happy that I tried this one. So now once I'm done with my making borders with the lining, I'm removing all the extra papers, and here and there wherever it's required, I am going to trim off the papers really well. Now you can even use your scissors, or you can just tear it off with your hands, but with the water it becomes really easy and gives a more natural look to your cutouts. Now this is good, and this size fits to my nameplate base really well. Now to prep up my base, I'm using my white gesso, and I'm using my sponge dauber, and I'm going to make sure that I apply 2-3 coats of white gesso on my base. I could have used my acrylic paint, but definitely there is some difference in acrylic paint and gesso, and with this base I really wanted to have everything perfect, and that's the reason I thought of choosing my gesso. Now for applying my gesso, I am choosing sponge dauber. The reason is that it gives a very nice blending effect, very smooth effect. You don't see any fine lines. If you are new to my channel, please scroll down to the other videos on my channel where I have used my paint brushes, and you can see the difference, that how a sponge dauber and a paint brushes are different. I have already done few more video tutorials on decoupage napkins, the few basic supplies of decoupage, and those are really going to help you in your future projects and your experiments. Now while I'm coloring this one, I am also thinking which color patterns to use, and that was actually the exact thought process which was going around in my mind, because I had not even decided on the colors which I'm going to use. So the last nameplate which I did was in pink and white shades, and I absolutely loved it, and honestly I wanted to repeat that. But I know I have to try something new so that I can share something new with you all, and I did not want to repeat the same process of fussy cutting work. And that's the reason I thought of using some new techniques and some new way of sticking my decoupage napkin. So here I'm almost done with my coloring, and now I'm going to let it dry completely. So this is one of the very beautiful ikat print decoupage napkin which I got recently. Now ikat is a very Indian print which you usually get in the cotton fabrics and cotton and linen fabrics, I guess, and they are just gorgeous, and I absolutely love this one. Although at the end of the project I just felt that I couldn't do that much justice to this tissue, but yes, when I see my board, it looked really fab. Now I was struggling with how to place my name board, how to do it, how to stick it, and then finally I decided that I'm going to trim off the paper of the size of my board, and for that I'm using my scissor. Now I want this to be a little straight. I don't want to just have the extra paper wastage. So now this is my name portion which is going to be there, and this is how I am planning to stick it on my board. Now sticking is a very easy task, but before that you really need to have a thought process that how you are going to stick it and how you are going to have your images and how you are going to plan it out. That is really important in decoupage and any of the mixed media projects. I know at times even I also take some of the decisions at the last moment, and at times it's really time taking for me, but then I guess that's the best part of it. So here I have already aligned my welcome to a happy place banner, and I'm just making a mark that this much area I have to trim off of my decoupage napkin. Now if you notice, I am not going into a very straight line thing. I'm just taking out the random border as per my text what I'm going to have. Now the reason for this is that I really wanted to cover this, and yes, I am going to use my colors and others medium on this, but I wanted to have that more of a natural effect to my board. Now tearing off with the water brush technique is really easy, and it has come out really well now. And now I need to remove the plies of this one. But I have also realized that when your tissues are wet, just give it a press and they are good to go. And I just thought I'll just check with my name boards and it's looking good. And now it's time to remove the plies of my napkin.
À deux doigts de nos lèvres, deux doigts si fins que j'ai presque pu le goûter, le bonheur à sculpter de son ciseau d'enfer, des souvenirs impossibles à effacer. Le bonheur est passé à deux doigts de nos lèvres, deux doigts si fins que j'ai presque pu le goûter, le bonheur à sculpter de son ciseau d'enfer.
Now here the fun part begins, and I am going to start with sticking my name, the text content first. Now the reason why I wanted to start with this one, because I wanted to overlap the decoupage napkin on the top of it. Secondly, after sticking this, I will be able to decide that how exactly and where I am going to have my decoupage napkin aligning to this. Now as you know that I am already going to apply my decoupage adhesive, that's the Mod Podge, on my base for my napkin, and that's the reason I thought of using my Mod Podge on this base, the paper, and then I'm going to stick it on my base. Best part of using your normal print paper is that they are a little thicker. They are 80-90 GSM and they are very sturdy as compared to decoupage napkins, so it makes your work pretty easier. Now I want this to stick really well to my base. I don't want to have any of those textured edges, so that's the reason with my sponge dauber I'm going to give it a really nice press. Now I need to stick my decoupage napkin, and you can see that how beautiful this looks. Now I'm just trying to arrange it with the kind of cutting work I have done, and I just want to make sure that I stick it really well and very much aligned to the cutting what I have done. Something here and there is okay, that is manageable, and I guess that's the beauty of using your colors and others mediums in your nameplates and your name boards. So now to stick this, I am going to use my Mod Podge. This is not the actual container of my Mod Podge. I had a very big container of Mod Podge, and I tend to use that bottle only, but over the time I realized that it was actually drying out really fast, so that's the reason I have shifted my Mod Podge to a smaller container, which is more handy to me too. Now as for sticking this tissue, I am going to do it portion wise so that it's easy and I will have less wrinkles. And now to press it, I'm going to use my sponge dauber, and once I'm done with the top layer of my decoupage napkin, then I'm going to stick it from the sides and at the bottom. Now here is the fun part of adding the chalk paint. Now when you actually see it on the camera, you can see that there is a difference in the shade of color, but I know that later on I am going to add some varnish to it and maybe a coat of Mod Podge. Then it is actually going to blend in really well with my napkin. So that's the reason with my sponge dauber I am applying this color, and I'm going to make sure that I apply some color on my decoupage napkin. Now this is a really good trick, that whenever you are applying some colors on your base, and if you have your napkins on the sides, you can always have some colors on your napkin. This is actually going to help you in blending the colors, and this is going to look really natural. So as you see me doing this, you will realize that towards the end I'm actually blending some colors on my napkins also.
Impossible à effacer, le bonheur est passé à deux doigts de nos lèvres, deux doigts si fins que j'ai presque pu le goûter, le bonheur à sculpter de son ciseau d'enfer, des souvenirs impossible à effacer, que j'ai presque pu le goûter.
Now to remove my extra papers, I am going to use my nail filer, and I just felt that sandpaper is a little more rough for this particular artwork. That's the reason I'm going for my nail filer, and with that I'm going to remove all the extra papers. With the nail filer you will get the very similar effect, but definitely nail filer takes a little more time, but the sanding work what it does is really fine. So my trimming work is done, my cutting work is done, and I have already put up my sponge dauber for cleaning, and now it's time to do some stamping. And here I'm using my script stamp, my archival ink pad, and these are the permanent ink pads which is not going to smudge even after using any medium. Yes, there are few of the circumstances where it gets smudged. I have already done that in one of my boxes. Do check my mosaic decoupage technique, you will see what all had happened. So here I am done with my stamping work, and I am just going to cover up all the empty spaces. And the reason why I am doing this work a little advanced than my acrylic painting work, so that I can do my acrylic painting and leave it to dry, and I could even see that how it has turned out. Now here I am using my acrylic paint, and with this I am going to recolor the complete text which is there on my plate. Now the reason of using this acrylic paint is that it actually highlights your text, and they really make them out popping. And with your decoupage napkins, at times it happens that your text gets merged to it, which is something we really don't want. As it's a welcome board, we really have to highlight this well. So this text work, it actually took me some 10 minutes, but then this was super fun because it takes time, but it is really a soothing process to do the coloring work, and I absolutely love this one.
que j'ai presque pu le goûter. Impossible à effacer, que j'ai presque pu le goûter. Le bonheur est passé à deux doigts de nos lèvres, deux doigts si fins que j'ai presque pu le goûter. Le bonheur a sculpté de son ciseau d'enfer des souvenirs impossibles à effacer. Le bonheur est passé à deux doigts de nos lèvres, deux doigts si fins que j'ai presque pu le goûter. Le bonheur a sculpté de son ciseau d'enfer des souvenirs impossibles à effacer, que j'ai presque pu le goûter. 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 Que j'ai presque.
So here I'm done with my coloring work and this is how it looks, and finally it's time to add my varnish to it. And you know, I am not a person who will do something very generously with one single process. I really can't do it. So I just wanted to play with my varnish in this particular project, and trust me, I had poured in my varnish like anything. There was a thick at least 3-4 mm of varnish on my board, and luckily it did not came out of my board, but it was really well settled in my board. Now the reason why I wanted to play with this varnish is that I wanted to have a little more of thickness. I wanted to have some shiny effect on this. Usually these varnishes are really matte, but this one turned out to be really good, and I didn't got that thickness there, but it really worked for me. So as you can see that I'm spreading it with my flat brush, and I'm going to make sure that it reaches all the edges and the corners of my nameplate.
Impossible à effacer, que j'ai presque pu le goûter. Impossible à effacer, impossible à effacer, que j'ai presque pu le goûter.
So let me just take out my camera and show you that how exactly it looked, and can you just see that how shiny it is looking. And yes, you can see some bubbles. So with my paintbrush I'm just poking out all those bubbles, and I'm going to make sure that my nameplate is really flat. And with this my project is done. I'm absolutely in love with this project, and I hope you'll enjoy this tutorial too. If you have any queries, please do comment down below. I'll be more than happy to help you all. And yes, I have mentioned all the links of the products used in this tutorial with the similar ones, the products or the exact products. Do check that. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. Bye bye.